Welcome you all to the logic class. Today I am going to discuss some selective short type question with answer. The topic it's cover inference, conversion, oversion. Question गुड़िकर आंसर बहुत शॉर्ट रहिबो एवं 2-3 मार्कर शॉर्ट टाइप क्वेश्चन आंसर जो आसुचे एग्जाम रे आसीबो स्पेशली प्लस 2 सेकेंड इयर पिला मानक पई एटा रहिबो क्लास टी को एक्टिवली शेष पर्यंत देखंतु एवं जो क्वेश्चन आंसर गुड़िक इम्पोर्टाट लगुच सब क्वेश्चन प्राय सिलेक्टिव एथरो निश्चिंत भाव में तुम आसूची एग्जाम रे निश्चिंत आसीबो. लेट्स स्टार्ट. Question number 1. What is inference? Inference is a mental process. Then what is premise? The proposition from which a conclusion is drawn is called premise. Then what is conclusion? The proposition which is drawn from the premise or premises is called conclusion. Next, type of inference. What are the different types of inference? There are two types of inference, that is deductive inference and inductive inference. Then next question, difference between deductive inference and inductive inference. Deductive inference is that in which the conclusion cannot be more general than the premise. In inductive inference, the conclusion is more general than the premise. That means in deductive inference, the conclusion is general, and in inductive inference the conclusion is more general than the premise. Next, that means in deductive inference the conclusion is not more general, and in inductive inference the conclusion is more general. That means it is from, in deductive inference it is from particular to universal. In deductive inference that is from universal to particular. Next question, how many types of deductive inference and what are they? There are two types of deductive inference. They are immediate inference and mediate inference. What is the difference between immediate inference and mediate inference? The difference between mediate inference and immediate inference, and mediate inference is a type of deductive inference in which the conclusion is derived from use of more than one premise. That means here the premises are more than one, and in immediate inference the premise are only one premise, exactly one premise is used. Next question, how many kinds of immediate inference are there and what are they? There are 4 kinds of immediate inference, and in some books there are written 3 kinds of immediate inference. They are conversion, obversion and contraposition. Next question, conversion, obversion and contraposition are known as dash, are known as education. Immediate inference is also known as dash. Immediate inference is also known as education. Next question, how many types of inference are there? There are 2 types of inference such as mediate and immediate. What is immediate inference? From one premise if you draw the conclusion, it is called immediate inference. How many types of mediate deductive inference are there? There are 4 types, and conversion, obversion, contraposition and inversion. Next question, what is conversion? Conversion is a form of immediate deductive inference in which subject of premise becomes the predicate in the conclusion and predicate of the premise becomes the subject in the conclusion. It is called conversion. Next, what is premise and conclusion of conversion? The premise of conversion is called converted and the conclusion is called converse. Next, what is the conversion of a proposition? The conversion of A proposition is I proposition. What is the conversion of E proposition? E proposition, the conversion of E proposition is E proposition. What is the conversion of I proposition? The conversion of I proposition is I proposition. Next, what is the conversion of O proposition? O proposition cannot be converted. What is called simple conversion? What is called simple conversion? If the quantity and quality of the converted is same as the quantity and quality of converse, it is called simple conversion. Next, which proposition converts simply? The E and I proposition convert simply. What is called conversion by limitation or accidents? The conversion by limitation is that if the quantity of the converted and conversion is not same, it is called conversion by limitation or conversion by accidents. What is obversion? Obversion is a form of immediate deductive inference where the predicate of the conclusion is the contradictory of the predicate of the premise and subject being the same as that of premise. Next, what is premise and the conclusion of obversion? The premise of the obversion is called overtaken and the conclusion is called obverse. What is the obversion of A proposition? The obversion of A proposition is E proposition. The obversion of I proposition is O proposition. The obversion of E proposition is A proposition. Next, the obversion of O proposition is I proposition. Next, who criticize of immediate inference? Mill and when criticized of immediate inference. Then what is inference? Inference is a mental process. What is an argument? When an inference is expressed in language is called argument. Next question, what is called conversion by negation? When O proposition changed to I proposition by transforming negative particles to predicate, then I converted to I proposition, it is called conversion by negation. Here is, I have taken an example, converted O proposition, sum S is not P. O proposition is particular and negative proposition, so proposition is sum S is not P. If we transferring negative particles, here we transferring negative particle, that means not P. P ra negative particle hala not P. So this proposition will be I, sum S is not dash P. Then I proposition converted to I proposition according to rule, then conclusion will be I proposition sum not dash P is S. It is called conversion by negation. Then what is called U type of proposition? According to Hamilton, what is called U type of proposition? In some case, A proposition are called U proposition. For example, converted all men are human beings and converse all human beings are men. It is called U type of proposition. Then what is called material obversion? What is called material obversion according to Ben? Here I have taken an example, honest people are reliable. Therefore, dishonest people are unreliable. Knowledge is good, therefore ignorance is bad. Here subject of conclusion is opposite of subject of premise and predicate of the conclusion is the opposite of predicate of the premise and quality same. This is called material obversion according to Ben. Next class I will discuss another selective type of question answer. Thank you. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel and thank you.